Every day I am constantly amazed by human behavior and the human spirit. I see some of the hardest people, supposedly hardest people in this world. Once you say the right thing, quote unquote, the right thing to them, they crumble like paper. Sometimes you have to say the right phrase or the right words, or you have to touch on the right subject, and this supposedly hard person turns into mush. And sometimes you'll say that right thing or that right phrase and you don't intend to say it, but you could be in the middle of a conversation, or you could be in the middle of an argument or a disagreement or something, and you'll turn around and say something to trigger that person's emotion to the point where it breaks down that tough exterior and they're exposed. I'm going to give a couple of scenarios in that regard, because that is the moment where that person needs to realize that they need to make a change in their life. It's happened to all of us. A lot of us put up that hard exterior just so we can make it every single day. I've been in that energy. Back in the day where I didn't know the awareness of spirit, back in the day where I didn't recognize my ancestors, back in the day where I was consumed in this thing called society, living in the rat race and living in the so-called ways of the world and the illusions thereof and associated with them. I was caught up just trying to fake it to make it, and all those cute little euphemisms that are out here that people use, walking around like a zombie and living half a life. That's what I used to do. I'd put up this tough exterior because that's what I felt I needed to do just to be. And I was miserable. Making mistakes, didn't care. Chalking it up to being human, chalking it up to the game. Not trying to have anything, not trying to accomplish anything, not trying to be a better person, just being here, watching the clock tick, 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 knowing that one day I'm going to die. And just trying to pretend like everything was great when it wasn't. And I had to have a breakdown. I had to have some people break me down, more than one, and bust through that exterior and say those words, the words that got to my core and melted that hard exterior. And once that shell is broken, you can't put the pieces back together and put that shell back up. You got to address those things. You got to address the traumas. You got to address the hurts. You got to address the mistakes so you can start rebuilding yourself the right way and become the person that you need to become. So let's talk about two different situations, common situations that occur in life, where people put up a hard exterior to try to make it, but they never live a fulfilled life because they're faking the front. First scenario, I'm going to talk about a man and a woman, just so I could be fair to both sexes. Let's talk about a man first. Man grows up with a single mother who struggled to try to take care of the family. Father, either unknown or unavailable. Or maybe he doesn't know who the father is at all. Seen mom struggle. Mom did it with a brave face and a kind heart. But throughout that time, that man grew up and decided in his mind that he was going to make it, and that when he had a chance, he was going to take care of mom, and he probably does make it financially. Grows up and does take care of mom till she dies. But see, the thing is when he grows up and he makes it, he does everything under the sun to make sure that he makes it, and that includes every shady deal and every broken heart. He does not give a damn. He decided in his mind at an early age that he was not going to care who he hurt, who he betrays, who he harms physically, emotionally, mentally, or otherwise. He wasn't going to suffer because had it in his mind he was going to take the responsibility of caring for his mother because the man who he deemed as his father failed to do so. So he was like, you know what? She struggled. I'm going to make sure she's taken care of, and anybody else who comes along is going to be taken care of. And anybody who comes along who tries to get in my way, or anybody that I can use in the meantime to help me get where I need to go, fuck them. I don't care about them. They are just a means to an end so I can get what I want so I can take care of mine. That's the mentality that they have. And a lot of people feel that way in this world, people. And you know what? These type of people, don't get me wrong, they have that mentality, but because they have that mentality, don't get it twisted. Don't think that these are mean people. These people could be very, very nice people. And see, that's where a lot of us, I myself included, have fallen for their bullshit. I have fallen under the spell of a lot of these people, and in the end, I have found out that these people had that mentality the whole time. They didn't have me in their life because they actually loved and cared about me. I was a tool for them to accomplish the next step of whatever it is they wanted to accomplish. They didn't care about me as a person because they had been operating in this energy for so long throughout their life. Everything was about them. Totally narcissistic energy. Yes, it was. Because of what they lacked in their childhood. Because of what they didn't have as a childhood. Being witness to lack. Being deprived because of what they were part of. They suffered so much when they were younger. You can call it a deal with the devil, I don't know. You can call it a pact with the underworld, whatever you want to phrase it. They decided they were going to use whatever or whoever to make sure that they make it and have whatever they want for themselves and what they take care of. And they didn't give a damn about it. I don't care who I have to hurt or who I have to step on. That's their mentality. And like I said before, these could be some seemingly very nice people. Seemingly very nice people. Very charismatic, a lot of friends. People may actually be crazy about them. A lot of people might be attracted to them. And a lot of these people could be physically attractive. Very attractive people. That's where the illusion comes in, because they can keep people going for a very long period of time. But see, what happens with these people is what's inside is going to come outside. And I've spoken about this before. What's inside a person is going to come outside eventually. So what happens is this goes on for a long period of time, and something may happen where a tragedy strikes, or they might go through some kind of loss or health crisis or something that weakens that facade of goodness, and the layers of the onion gets peeled back, and they can't fake the front anymore, and something shows in their true behaviors to the world, and somebody sees it and they get exposed. And see, that's where the chips start to fall. That's when they start losing shit. They start losing the cars and the houses and the career and this, that, and the other. They start losing their health. They start losing things. They go from sugar to shit. That's what my grandmother used to say. They're one of those type of people you would hear in conversation one day where you would hear somebody say, oh man, I used to know that such and such was this great movie star, and they used to do this and used to do that, and they were, every time you turn around, you picked up the newspaper or you saw on the internet they were doing this, that, and the other. I wonder what happened to them. They disappeared. And you always have some kind of show that does a little backstory as to what happened to this person. And when they find them, you come to find out they've been sick. And they're living somewhere, in a little small town somewhere, or they're living in a small place because all their money is gone. Family has nothing to do with them. And then they find out why, and then come to find out because of their behaviors and the way they treated people, and the way that they probably either swindled and took money from someone, they could have done harm to someone, they could have abused people. To get those things to be in that spotlight, they're suffering the consequences as a result. That's the story of the man who had the mother who suffered and decided in his mind as a young child that he didn't care who he was going to hurt, that he was going to have it all. So he wouldn't have to suffer like that. And that he's going to take care of mom until he died. He's going to take care of his family and make sure that they have, so they won't have to suffer like that. Instead of addressing the traumas and being productive, he decided he's going to take it out on the whole world. And that's what he did until it was time for him to suffer. And the sad part about it is 9 times out of 10, these same people, they have the audacity, in some cases, if they're not humble, because half of them do become humble and change, but the other half have the audacity to try to go back to the people that they harmed and betrayed and ask for help when they are in their time of need. The nerve. So that's one story. Second story is about a female. This female doesn't get it to save her life. She's seen, again, as a child, her father being constantly used and betrayed by other women. Constantly. Good-hearted man who's lonely. And all he does is give, give, give. Works hard and give. And he attracts nothing but women who wants to take, take, take. She's being forced to respect these women. But they are the only example of a woman to her, so she doesn't know what it's like to be a good woman. So eventually she grows up to be with these type of women. Taker, gold digger, whore. So she doesn't know, but she loves dad. So what she does is she uses these so-called talents or whatever to take care of dad till he dies, and she does. But her views on how to deal with sex and relationship are very jaded. It's about, let me use what I have to manipulate and get what I want. To get what I want. See? Hurting people, harming people, using people. And again, going through life until 9 times out of 10, some type of health crisis or something kind of stops all that in their tracks. Finances dry up. And again, half the time, either changes her ways, in a lot of cases converts herself to religion or spirituality because of lack of anything else to do. Or, again, has the arrogance to go back to the people that she hurts and ask for help. These two situations are in common. Both of these people put up a hard shell to protect a very fragile exterior. You can't do that in this life, people. And you can't go around out in the world thinking that, what can I do to get what I want for myself today, and who can I harm to get it? And then when you get called on your shit, all of a sudden you want to have somebody to have sympathy for you. Everybody in this world has a situation or a problem that they're trying to address every single day. No matter how small it is, it could be something as simple as trying to decide what to have for breakfast, or something as large as trying to find out if I'm going to have a roof over my head today, or whether or not I'm going to live to see the next day. Everybody has a problem. So for you to turn around and assume that a stranger is responsible for taking care of your problems and you have done nothing but mistreat them, that's wrong. Walking around with a hard exterior, knowing that you're fragile on the inside, takes a lot of energy, people. I can speak from experience. You're only fooling yourself. You're not fooling the world. You might fool the world for a little while, but the biggest fool that you're making is of yourself. So wouldn't it be easier for you to just address what's broken on the inside? I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go on that note. Have a great day.